Hey, it's MK, and I am here with a Kit Conspiracy layout for you guys today. And today I am inspired by Dorothy Guinan, who is Scrapbooking Quebec here on YouTube. And I found this layout absolutely stunning. I couldn't get it out of my mind, so I'm going to recreate it. I'm going to start with this stencil. I've also pulled out a couple inks that I felt like matched my papers really well. So I've got some Distress Oxides as well as Distress Inks, and then my blending brushes as well, so that way I can use them for either blending into my stencil. I'm also going to do some stamping with these All in Create stamp sets. This one's Explorers Layers, and this one here is Stamped Stories. I'm debating about bringing them into the shop because they are on the spendy side because they come from overseas, but it is a debate in my brain whether or not. All right, so I've done a bunch of fussy cutting off on my own. As you can see, they are two different fussy cutting sheets, but I already did all the cutting and everything, so that way you didn't have to watch me. And also from the Echo Park frames and tags set, I pulled out these three little round, well, one large round piece and two little round pieces. And that was the packaging where I pulled these out of. Yay! I also have some wood veneer pieces from the shop. One is from the Abstract Palms, which is a super cool little design. And then this one's called the Tiny Travelers. And when I peel the masking off, you guys will see that it's actually a different colored wood. That was a mistake. It wasn't supposed to be that color. Whoops. And then I also have these charms. They are from the monthly box that came out in February. It's a traveling little set. And then I have these Travelers clips. They're like paper clips, and they come in this little package here. They're also offered in the shop. They have cars and planes and potty people, so boys and girls inside there. I just thought it was super cute. This is a giant compass that we found walking along in Galveston, so I can't wait to scrapbook that. And then this ruler is my new deco ruler, and I honestly released it without actually testing it. So that is my bad. I think I tested it on Close to My Heart cardstock and not my actual paper. So here we go. I also have these travel borders by Dusty Attic that I'm going to try to use. And then from my papers, I selected the map paper. And then I've got this green mottled paper here that I am going to be adding as well. Oh, it's upside down. And then for my base piece, I picked out this Close to My Heart. It's like an off-white. I think they called it vanilla, French vanilla, I think is what it used to be called. I don't know if Stampin' Up! Offers a cream piece of paper or not. I cannot remember. All right, so let's get this layout started. Now, I do realize right now that I don't have anything to map my photos. And if you guys know me, I can't, I struggle really hard with putting my pictures down without a photo mat. So yes, I cheated a bunch and pulled out a full sheet because when it comes to cardstock, it does not last in my stash. Like I barely have scraps of cardstock anymore. I used to have a ton because of the leftovers from cricketing and stuff like that, but I don't anymore. So I brought in this one piece. I will use it throughout the entire collection. I promise I don't bring out another piece. But yes, I trimmed down my photos. And now I'm just trying to decide how big I needed my map piece. And then that will help me decide how big of a border I want for my photo mats. So of course I measured only the how wide my photo was. I did not measure how tall my photo was. So the first cut was an oopsie, and that's okay because I end up not needing that piece all together. So it ended up working out perfectly. I don't know how that my brain made that work, but yay, it did. So the photo with my feet on it, and I'm standing on the compass and taking a big picture down, it's supposed to go on the side, and the way that this layout is going to end up laying down, the photo is going to have to be turned. It just looked weird. All right, so here's my first attempt at using my ruler with my uber thick paper. Now, thick paper is cool sometimes, but I have noticed just playing around with this paper, my first time playing around with my own paper, you guys, is that fussy cutting is a pill. It was not fun. And paper tearing is not fun. And then when I go to use my distressing tool, again, not fun. So I don't know if I should keep my papers becoming this thick or if I should tone them down like one notch, like see what the next level of paper is, because they were super thick to work with and not what I was used to. I think they are even thicker than 49 in Market, because I don't remember 49 in Market being this difficult to work with. So yes, lots of paper dandruff going on there. As you can tell, the paper ruler worked really well on the Close to My Heart cardstock, which, now Stampin' Up! Sells. Actually, I can't wait to share the brand new catalog with you guys, because they have all their colors in the two-tone white. Oh, my stars. I'm so excited. Anyways, so anyway, I know I've never been excited about cardstock before. I'm just glad that my cardstock that I love didn't disappear forever, you guys. That's my only thing, because I really, truly just loved Close to My Heart cardstock. It works beautifully in the Cricut. I don't know how it works in the Silhouette. I apologize. But it just was my go-to cardstock for everything, you guys. It really was. And I was worried that I would have to be on the hunt for new cardstock. So what am I doing? I am deciding how I want my papers to go. Now, I knew that I was not going to be scrap lifting exactly what Dorothy did on her layout. I knew that because I wanted to add this really super cool border. I wanted to add stamping. I wanted to add my own flair to it. But the ruffling effect that she had on her papers, I really wanted to add that to my layout. And that's technically what I am inspired by on her layout, as well as how she has her clusters. She's got this really cool circular bit for her journaling. You guys know me, my journaling is not going to happen. So it's going to end up being changed up a little bit. But yes, those are the areas that I am inspired by from Dorothy's layout. And so it will look similar, but just slightly different, right? So that's the beauty of everybody using their own supplies and pulling inspiration from others. It is just fabulous how, you can adapt things to your own liking or to what fits your supplies and your photos. It's awesome. All right, so I pulled out this random stencil and I did cover some stuff up with my washi tape because there's holes off to the side. Now it's on my right side. That's for a binder, so this actually belongs in a book with lots of other stencils to go with it. And then I didn't want the circles. I just wanted the squares. So I used another strip of washi tape to confine one piece of this stencil for just the squares. And the reason why I picked this particular stencil is because all the way around this awesome giant compass was this blue and white checkered print. It's almost like a tile, like a floor tile, all the way around. And I thought, I think I have a stencil that might go with that. Well, this was it. This was, it doesn't match at all, but I still think it's a pretty cool effect because I've got the white in the background. I'm making my blue squares right now. And I like how it's random. It's not really random, but I like how it's not in a perfect pattern like it is around the giant compass, right? So I definitely am super happy with the fact that I remembered that I had this stencil. Yay, go memory. But I also am super excited with the fact that it's not perfect. So I've got that little bit of playroom to add my stamping and it's going to look just fabulous. All right, I was super excited to play with these stamps. And like I said, I really want to bring them into the shop. The problem is anything that's overseas, especially now, But even back then, even last year, anything that's overseas is a little bit more spendy. It costs a little bit more for them to manufacture them, and it also costs a little bit more for them to get them to us. So even though, wholesalers and retailers and all that stuff, it's not the prices we're used to. And so I still debate whether or not I need to bring these to the shop, but they are fabulous. They are right up my alley with all things stampy. I mean, I love these. Now, one of the things I wanted to try, I'm not sure if this is how they are supposed to go, but I wanted to see if the compass fit inside the partial circle of numbers. And it does, but they don't line up. Like my OCD was dying because each one of them have like little lines in between a certain set of numbers, or in between the number. I think it's in between every other number. There's these little lines and they weren't adding up. They weren't lining up to each other. And I was just like, oh my gosh, these guys aren't supposed to go like this, but I really want them to go like this. And oh man. So anyways, I made it work. And then this little guy here, this is just a small little grid. And I am using this to extend my stencil work, just to give it that little bit of extension. You don't really see it in the end. I really liked it. I kind of just wanted to add something else and bring in that blue a little bit more. Another thing too that I forgot to touch base on, also this giant border that I'm putting on the right side, yeah, it gets mostly covered up. Like, it was just an exercise maybe to test. I don't know. But my design had to be shrunk up just a little bit, and something had to be covered. And I'd rather cover the right side than the left side, because the left side turned out really cool. But another thing too is that that I missed on, because I was talking about gosh knows what. I went to ink my chipboard border. And one of the things that I wanted to tell you guys is that if you noticed, the ink, the distress ink just soaked right into, and it changed the color. Like, it just turned it a dirty, I don't know what color that would be, like a dirty green. And that's not what the color I was looking for. So I brought out the oxide of that same color and went ahead and inked this whole border piece, this one right here, with that color. And then of course I added my little splattering. Well, what's really cool is because I put ink on first and then the oxide, the splattering actually turned like a bluey. And then down below, the splattery turned a greeny because it's just the Distress Oxide ink. So I thought it was pretty cool. It's only noticeable if you're me, but if you stare at it and look at it and see, right now you guys are probably thinking, she's nuts. Well, I am, but it is one of those things where, if you look, it's a cool effect, right? If you do the ink and then the oxide and then do the splattering, it changes the color. At least on the chipboard it did. I don't know about paper because normally I don't do that on paper, but anyways, so my paper was a little bit too crisp and clean. So without reapplying the ink on my blending brush, I am just going over the design very lightly. I didn't want it to be uber dark and all this good stuff. But as you can see, I just wanted to dull the bright shiny paper down just a little bit, right? So I'm also taking all of my pieces because, again, crisp and white and clean wasn't working. Once I did my stamping and everything, it just gave that grungy effect. And so, with the grunge, you can't really have crisp, white, clean edges. You just can't. So I'm inking up all my edges. And when I have a distressed edge, like I have on these papers where I used my edge distressor to rough up the edges, I don't ink over my design because it really does tear up my sponge and gets the sponge everywhere. And the sponge is full of ink, like loaded with ink. And so one little swipe and your whole project has a smudge that you just, it's awful. So I just do it over, off to the side, basically on the floor, on my pant leg, gosh knows where it's at, right? All right, so here's where I decide, look at all that. The whole right side is practically covered, but I do like the little squares peeking out and the little designs. I really do like it, okay? I like that it's not just a bare design over there. So I'm glad I did something, but I covered up a lot. I really did. And one of the reasons too is because I did end up pushing my stencil over to the, not my stencil, my chipboard piece. I did end up pushing it over to the right more because I wanted to see the stamping through the stencil more than I wanted to see it over on the right side. So that was my choice. I definitely could have put the stencil more, or it's not a stencil, you guys. It's a chipboard piece. I could have definitely put it back where I wanted it and then saw more of the right side. But in the end, I really do end up liking how this turned out. Okay, so I first put all of my pictures exactly the way that I intended them. And then I realized, all of my embellishments are going to be way too high up. There's not going to be enough room. And then I don't know what I'm going to do with all the ones that I picked out, right? So I make it, I like to try to incorporate everything that I pick out for a layout, right? Sometimes I bring in things that I don't know if this one will work better than that one. Like I'll bring in two different cameras. Do I like the bigger camera or do I like the smaller camera? Sometimes I will bring in different title pieces, which one will look better, the slightly bigger one, the slightly longer one, things like that. I don't intend to bring in, to have two different titles on my layout. And I try not to. Sometimes I do. But when I bring in those types of things, I know I'm not going to use both, right? But when I bring in elements like this, it is super fun for me to try to get, all those pieces on the page. And then, of course, my original design sometimes has to change a little bit and sometimes has to, be altered, just like this one here, where I needed that gap in between the photos. So I could bring in all of these elements. And then, of course, I created a little shelf for them. So that was super fun. All right, so now I am just adding my charms. And when I first thought about adding these charms, I thought, it'd be kind of cute to have these little bows and then these, especially this twine. This twine looks amazing in bows because it just lays super well. The little curly cues that are automatically made with this twine. You guys, this is the best twine ever. If you don't have a roll, there's a link down below because it is the best twine ever. And it's so neutral. You don't need any other color. At least I don't, for me, right? Because it's just this off-white perfect color. It's perfect for outdoors. It's perfect for indoors. It's perfect for everything. And it just has that twist to it, that curl to it, that goes the exact way you want it to. It's just amazing. And when you put it in a little bow, it's even better because you know how those people make the little nests? I can never do the nests, right? And have their little messy strings behind all their projects that look so perfect. I can never do that. This twine or this thread, whatever it's called, makes that happen for me. It just is awesome. All right, so once I figured out I didn't want the bows because it just didn't look right, I strung up my little charms. I love the addition of all of this string. And that was it, you guys. I literally just glued everything down in place right where I had it. I didn't think you guys wanted me to see it, but I do want to point out that once I took the masking off of my tiny little traveler, this little mini piece, it definitely is a different color. Now, that was a mistake. Your guys's aren't going to be that color if you order it. But yeah, that is my layout for today. Dorothy, thank you so much for such an amazing design. I really did enjoy it. Don't forget to check out all the links down below. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. Don't forget to check out Janet Fritz's channel, who is Galaxy Girl Creations here on YouTube. And I will check you guys all later. Bye.